Hey, what's up guys? It's Marf and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 video. Today I'll be talking about the new update and how the game in general and the update doesn't make much sense. Now, before I talk about the biggest addition to Asphalt 9, which is the new map, let's talk about the new convertible cars. Firstly, we have the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. Now, I personally expected Gameloft to add newer types of cars, but the SLR is a very cool car that I believe doesn't get as much love as it deserves, so I'm fairly happy that it's made its way into Asphalt 9. The SLR in-game is placed right after the previous B-Class King, the Apollo N, and the new B-Class King, which is the Huracan Evo Spider. Although, from what I can tell from the base statistics of the SLR, it looks to be just a beefier Apollo N in terms of performance. Next, we have the Aventador J, and here's where this update and Asphalt 9 in general starts to get very questionable. We already have an Aventador in the form of the SV Coupe, so I'm quite confused as to why Gameloft would put resources into adding yet another Lamborghini, and especially the fact that it's yet another Aventador. I think this car edition perfectly describes Asphalt 9's choices in car edition, gameplay design, and just a bunch of different things in general. For example, why in the world do we have 2 Dodge Challengers, 2 Dodge Vipers, and 2 Camaros? These odd car choices reflect the odd map design as well that feels utterly rushed and sloppy, and as we get more and more updates for Asphalt 9, I can't help but feel that Gameloft Barcelona probably only spent less than a year on development before soft launching the game. These repetitive cars are probably an attempt by Gameloft to bloat the game with more stuff just to make it look better. And to add on to my previous point about Asphalt 9 being rushed, the developers mentioned in an App Store story that the building that you crashed through in San Francisco was meant to be a Gameloft office, but they ran out of time to add those details. This same story also mentions how the streets of San Francisco were much more detailed originally, but it was a, quote, blurry soup of color, so they removed a lot of detail. I think this is actually trying to cover up the blandness of the map and how there isn't a lot of detail on the maps overall. For example, if you look at the buildings in Cairo, they all look pretty much identical save for the minor changes in height and wideness. Speaking of different maps, I want to move on to talking about the new map in Asphalt 9, the Caribbean. First off, the name already points out a flaw with the map and other maps in Asphalt 9 because it's the name of a general place, just like the other map in Asphalt 9 called the Middle West. The fact already makes the maps feel like they aren't real because they are too small to encompass the entirety of that general region that it's named after, and there's nothing recognizable about that map that connects it to the real world. Asphalt 9 was all about realism, yet the maps don't feel set in reality whatsoever. For example, the downtown part of San Francisco doesn't look or feel anything like the real San Francisco. The streets don't have large curves like they do in the game, and where in the world is the Transamerica Pyramid, one of the most iconic buildings in San Francisco? Anyway, let's talk about the Caribbean map. We all know that the cars in Asphalt 9 handle like massive 18-wheelers without any wheels, and now in Asphalt 9 it gets even more confusing because the Caribbean barely has any straights at all. The corners are all almost 90-degree turns, and it's very rare that you ever go above 200 miles per hour, which makes the map not enjoyable whatsoever. The map looks absolutely stunning, yes, but again, because it's based off of a general area rather than a specific town or city, there's nothing to recognize from the real world, and then the map seems off or fake even. The transitions between the hotel resort, the beach, and the forest area are also very abrupt, and the map overall feels extremely claustrophobic. There are multiple pathways to multiple areas, yes, but the tracks are all extremely narrow, and at times they're even hard to see. Overall, the map does look beautiful, but it plays like a crappy nightmare, and the amount of twists and turns makes most of the cars feel like trying to use a basketball in a pinball machine. So, the point of this video is to say that Asphalt desperately needs to add variety in its gameplay, because adding new maps and cars isn't going to change the fact that the game is becoming very stale and it could very well die in the next few months if Gameloft just keeps injecting fake hype and loads of superficial content to the game. Right now, I'm starting to get extremely burned out with Asphalt 9. We're repeating the same events over and over and over again just to unlock one new car or just to unlock one new thing, and I'm getting extremely bored and burned out, and I think you guys might be feeling the same way if you play as much as I do. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, of course, down in the comments section below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.